Right.
Yo,
Me and Clyde gotta raise our hands.
yeah, or something. I don't know. We gotta find out like an organized way to like get our licks in. But it's about you. It's all
I
about
get
you.
it.
It's been so long, Eric. Has it been how long has it been?
I think it has honestly been a year. Like I cannot
Damn.
believe that we have been stuck in quarantine for a year.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it's so great to be back. So thank you so much for having me back.
Word. It's very good to see you. You look
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
George, you look amazing.
Yes.
Thank you.
You look amazing.
We looking amazing, y'all.
I haven't seen you in how long, George?
I don't even know how long it's been. It's been a
Yeah.
while. I mean, I know we
Wow.
talked a while ago when you came to New York, but then
Yeah.
you know I'm running around doing my thing. You running around doing your thing, so we didn't get
Right.
to touch bases. Now, Erica, you look so familiar. I know you. I'm not sure how I know you, but
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I've been on the scene for it's been 2.5 years.
mm,
Even though it feels like I've been in the game for like decades, it's been 2.5 years. So I don't know,
Short.
like
It's
maybe,
been big. You've had a
yeah.
large career.
yeah. Unless I mean, maybe it's Instagram. I don't know. I know your
Yeah,
face
it
looks
could
so
be
familiar. I'm
Instagram.
like I know her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for us to catch up on how we've been doing in this last year, because I
Yeah.
know that you both have been working on some heavy projects, so I can't wait to hear about it.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is crazy. It's still converting my last episode. I'm just waiting for this bubble to go away. It's at 98%. George,
Okay.
where are you in your room in Boston?
Yeah, I'm in Boston right now.
Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Erica, I've known George for mad years. I can't even think about how many years I've known George for. But I've known George for mad
Wow.
years. We were taking like acting classes together from this woman named Jackie Parker, and I feel like, yeah, like we had been like in plays and we had done like shows and workshops together.
Hmm.
Yeah, like we've worked together, we've seen each other in action, and we kind of had a good sense of what we're capable of. George, Erica, and I used to work together. Erica
Yeah. Oh my God.
was an admin in this one department, this one company I used to work in. I was one of the fucking IT guys at this old company called IMG, and we met each other there because I used to go to like her office and like fix stuff. So yeah, like I guess I want to say like you were starting to act around 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I think at the end of, I would just say the January of 2019. That's
Yeah.
when I really, really started, and I started in theater. And then from there, I just started doing films and commercials and everything like that. So
Wow.
and I'll mention this when we start filming, but I
Yeah.
just got my SAG card. So I've
Wow.
been on SAG auditions, and it's been crazy. So so far I've secured like 2 really big jobs,
Yeah.
and it's only been like 2 weeks since I got my SAG card. So
That's
I'm just
crazy.
I'm just grateful. Yeah, yeah. It's been a
That's good.
journey.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. All
Yeah,
right, all right, all right.
man.
We can hop into it now. That's amazing. Congratulations. Yeah, we'll definitely
Thank you.
find a way to shout that out. Um, all right. Yeah, I'm already recording, but I edit this little intro out for us. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Last Stop on the D. I'm your main host, Brandon. I have two amazing guests. This week's episode is dedicated to Black actors and Black actresses, and it's Black History Month. So, like, why the fuck not? But yeah, things are hard right now, and I have two of my favorite actors and actresses here to kind of talk about how things maybe aren't so hard. So let's just like dive right into it. What's going on with you guys? Like introduce yourselves to listeners again. Erica, I haven't spoken to you in quite some time. Some of the listeners may remember you. George, you're new. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Erica DeGraff. I am a actress, also a fashion enthusiast here in New York. And I'm so happy to be here again. So thank you so much, Brandon. And I look forward to this amazing conversation.
Word. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Who's this guy and what's on your background? Please
Okay, so
share with my listeners.
hi everyone. My name is George Lopes. I'm an actor slash producer, writer, and what's on my background right now is actually my latest project that I'm working on. It's actually the script has won multiple awards. It's won about 12 awards for best screenplay, and right now we're working on
Ooh.
getting it produced. And what's been great about the pandemic is the fact that it's given us the opportunity to talk to the
Mhm.
real decision makers to get it produced.
Yeah.
That's
Ooh,
dope.
nice.
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Like I gotta say, like I have some listeners who are on the boat and sort of off the boat. Some folks are like their brains are just in a whole nother world. Why should anyone care about entertainment and film at a time like this? What are you guys doing? What are you guys working
Well, right now, I mean, as you probably remembered, Brandon, when we first started the pandemic a year ago, I think every artist was in panic mode because it was like, what are we going to do? The theaters are closed, I can't go into the room and secure this audition. So, like during this year, I have literally been hitting the ground running when it comes to getting into these classes that I normally wouldn't have been able to take because they're in LA or they're in London. So I think the great thing about being quarantined and being in this pandemic is because you're now having access to so many people that you have never been able to work with. So I think that would be the benefit of it. So of course, productions have just started, which has been great over the last couple months. So I've been filming a lot, getting COVID tested literally every other day.
on?
I'm just so grateful
Yeah.
to
Damn.
be back on set and with other actors who love being in the scene as much as I do.
Nice.
Beautiful,
Nice.
beautiful.
What about you, George?
Yeah, I mean, for me, what's been great is that, well, first off, is I know she said many actors and people that are in the entertainment industry were running scared, and I think
Mhm.
part of it is because there's so much uncertainty with it, and then the people that actually were able to thrive during this situation was the people that were able to pivot quickly.
Yeah.
And so I was one of them that what I did is the first 3 months of the lockdown, I actually how I ended up in Boston was the fact that I came to Boston to teach a class, and then when I came to Boston, the lockdown happened and everything shut down, so I couldn't go back to New York, unless I actually wanted to take a car and drive out there, and I didn't want to do that. So I said, hey, you know what, just give me an opportunity to stay, because they said it was a month. So like, oh, I'll stay a month in Boston, and then the next thing you know, it was, I don't know how many months.
Yeah.
And then besides that, though, what I did is I just went right into writing, and within the
Mhm.
first 3 months of COVID, I wrote a book. So and it just to keep my my creative juices going,
Wow.
and wrote a book. And then with Lopes Brothers, we had the film Erased, and then we just the project, well, the script, and we just started making sure that we were able to get into the rooms to talk to the people, the decision makers, to make sure that we can get it to where it's at. And we're right now, I just got a distribution deal that we're getting ready to sign the contract. So it's like the doors were wide open, and some people didn't see the opportunity. What they thought is, they said, okay, you know what, the sky is falling. And what my team and I did is we said, hey, this is an opportunity here for us to meet people, just like Erica said. It's like we said, hey, now we don't have to travel, we can just go
Mhm.
do a Zoom call, and then we're able to talk to everyone no matter where they are. And we've been able to talk to people from here to China
Yeah.
and so on. So it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really why I'm really excited to have you guys both on, because you guys are both like just kind of like amazing in just the way that you guys move. Like George, you've been always like really inspirational in general.
Mhm.
Like anything from like I remember when you were just sharing inspirational texts with me, and that really meant a lot. All the way up to you and your career as a life coach was just like amazing. Um, and same thing for you, like Erica. Like when I first met you, I was like, "This is crazy! Like how like you're just gonna start acting like this is crazy? Like you're just gonna dive in? Like that's crazy! Like I'm afraid too. Like this is, and the way you just kind of like took to it and like to like ended up being in a show like with you, like that was just really amazing. And like I felt like, you know, that energy, I wanted to continue to ride that. And I will admit, I guess as an artist it was difficult in the beginning of the pandemic too, but it sort of grew in other ways. So like yeah, like it's all of this has been growing. Like I think, George, you've been growing this great career. Erica, you've been growing this great foundation of knowledge and this amazing career to the point where you are now. Can you guys both kind of like share with me some of the listeners as well, like your stories from like some of the things that have happened to you in your career over the course of this like pandemic?
Um, I'll start here.
Some of the
During
most
this course
impactful
of
ones.
the pandemic, I would say that it has opened up many, many doors. I just recently received my SAG card, so which is an awesome thing because now I'm being
Yeah.
able to be in the same rooms of actors and actresses that have been in this industry for years. You know, at first I would say I was very scared because, you know, as an actor, you say, am I ready? Am I ready? You know, and the only way you're going to find out is if you jump in. So I jumped in, and I've already secured two really, really big opportunities where they're co-star roles. So I can't wait to share that. I've been in a
Congratulations.
national commercial for Comcast. So, which and it's still running during Black History Month. So it's like, you know what? I think as much as many people would like to say that, you know, the pandemic has hurt many of us, which it has, I think that at the same time, it allowed us to really look within ourselves and our skill sets, to really heighten them, to get to make us better. So yeah, it's been really, really good, really good. I can't wait to see what the next couple months have in store.
Word, word.
Nice, nice. Congratulations, Erica.
Thank you.
What about you,
So,
George?
I mean, for me, I basically already told you what's been happening. What happened is I pivot and I went into, because I've also always wanted to produce and have always been having one foot in the producing direction. So when that happened, I said, hey, you know, a lot of people are not creating their own projects. A lot of people are not filming their own projects. And the reason why, you know, COVID had happened, everybody was figuring out that things were shut down. So I said, hey, you know what? Let me pivot that way and started producing. And like I said, right now I have a distribution deal. Not only do I get, I can have any project that I do, I can get those distributed, but also in feature projects, basically what I'm talking about. And if someone else has a project that they want, like for example, I just had a project that I just got that distribution. So what's happening now is looking at, because I look at it this way: if you're going to be doing films or doing any projects, one, you should be able to actually have control of what you do. And what I mean by that, as an artist, you know, say, because most people, when they're in this industry, what they do is they at the whims of the casting director, at the, you know, the
Yep.
agent, the manager, and so on, and they always forever, you know, trying to please these people. And when I first got in the industry, and I'm not saying you don't want to, you know, I want to have authentic connection with these people, not something that I'm trying to do this so they can like me. And when you're in that position, you can't create. So I said, hey, you know what? Tyler Perry's been able to do it. And there's so many other people out there that's doing it. So why not do that? And I still go after the other projects, you know, that other people are doing. And what I want to do is be able to have a foot and stronghold in the industry. So when I rip it open, I'm going to be able to stay. And that's basically why I'm doing that, is going in and working on my own projects, and then also making sure that, you know, I can start a script from the beginning and then end with completing the project. Because what I've seen, the challenges some people have done is they create the project, they film it, and then they have no avenue after they go to the film festival. Then it sits there and you spent all this money. So my thing is like, hey, you want to be able to monetize it. And you got to look at it as a business. And Brandon, we've talked about this plenty of time. This whole industry, I look at the industry as a business. When I first got in as an actor, I came in, I got an audition for Queen of the South, and that's a SAG project. I didn't have any. It's my first year in. I within the first, I think, 3 months, I got in and got an audition for Queen of the South. And the reason why is because I don't adhere to, I gotta do this and do that. I just try my own thing, do my own way, kick in the door my way.
Can I piggyback off of that? What George said that was very important, which I liked, was the fact that he said during this time you have to create your own content, and that's what you did. You wrote your own script, and you pitched it yourself, and I think that's so important for actors to know, that you don't need a casting director or a director for you to be able to be seen, or for you to be able to work. So, and I think that's another challenge that us actors have to know, that, we have to pick up the pen and pad, and write our stories, or write characters that we normally wouldn't have the opportunity to audition for, So I love that you said that, creating your own content, and being open to it.
Thank you. Yeah, and you gotta look at it this way. As an actor, you're a storyteller.
Yes.
So whether you're using your body or your instrument to tell the story, or you're writing it via pen, pad, or whatever you're using to write with it, you're still a storyteller. So you go ahead and you tell the stories. As an actor, while you're using your instrument to tell a story, you have to know the way to tell a story. And then also you have to look at it this way. One of the things that I kind of irks me is the fact that a lot of people are trying to please. Like, for example, you get an audition, you say, I'm trying to get it right. Can I get this right?
Yeah.
The thing is, there's no right or wrong when it comes to art.
Yeah.
Art comes from your heart. And as long as you can be, then you can tell the story.
Yeah.
So can you guys tell us a story, actually, about one of the hardest things you've had to deal with in your career, and how you sort of came through it? And you can pick something out of the hardest thing out of the last year in the pandemic, or you can pick something out of your entire career.
Yeah, go ahead, George.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, for me, I would say this, it's, and, because what I just said is like, basically, I learned that lesson from, being rejected. As an actor, you're going to face rejection over and over again. It gets to the point where you feel like you're getting punched and knocked down. And, and then at that point, you feel like you can't create. And one of the hardest thing at that one point is that I got to a point where I just felt I couldn't create and I couldn't do anything. No matter what I did, I go on stage, it was just terrible. And, and one of the hardest thing to hear was I had done something, and, to hear someone say that was dog shit. And it was like, so when you hear that, you're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is PG, so I apologize. If you
No, you can swear.
But okay.
I don't give a shit.
All right. So anyway, well, I just have to make sure. I don't know who's gonna be listening to it. So
true.
With that said, it's like you hear that and that knocks you down. And if you can't deal with that, pick yourself back up, because no one's gonna pick you up. No one's going to be there say, hey, yeah, no, this is your dream. You have to take control of it. You have to pick yourself back up. You have to, basically talk to yourself or do whatever it is. And the thing is, Brandon, I've been in the personal development industry for many, many years. When I got hit with that, it was like getting sucker punched. But, and it took me a month to get out of that, and just literally started going to the point where I go on stage and didn't give a fuck, just go on stage and just do whatever, and just to get it out there, get all that trash. And you got to remember that when you write, when you perform or anything like that, there's going to be trash that you do, and you got to get rid of that trash so the good shit can come out. And that's basically what it is. And that was the hardest thing for me.
I would say definitely the hardest thing, with this 2.5 years of being in the industry, is just the rejection aspect. And I know, George, you just touched base on it, but that is a major thing when it comes to being an actor, because it was this point where I was auditioning so much and I was getting every role that I auditioned for. But then it also came to this point where I was auditioning and not getting the roles. So then instantly I had to say, what is wrong? what am I doing wrong? You know, and I remember just speaking to my mom about it, and she said, Erica, you can't be everybody's cup of tea. You can't be in every film or, you know, on every stage, you know, and sometimes it has nothing to do with you and your talents. It could easily be, you know what, she doesn't have the right height that we're looking for, or you know what, our main actor looks like this and they don't look as if they would mesh together, you know. So I think the rejection aspect is a huge thing in this industry, but at the same time you have to realize that you have been given this talent for a reason, you know. And the main thing is you can never ever give up, because the moment that you give up, you are basically telling everybody that's been following you that they should give up on their dreams as well. So I think that no matter what, you have to keep fighting, you have to keep pushing. And at the end of the day, it's just somebody's opinion. And some people's opinions don't mean anything. You have to believe it in yourself. So yeah, I would just say that that's been the biggest thing over this last 2.5 years.
Yeah, and just so I could piggyback on that real quick is the thing, because you don't want to tell people rejection is the worst thing, and then say, hey, you don't know how to give it a rejection, or deal with that. First thing is you got to look at it. Rejection, no one can reject you.
Mm.
You reject yourself. So if someone says, hey, this role's not for you, sometimes they don't even tell you. They say thank you, bye, and
That's
you're
the
like,
truth.
okay, well, was that good? Was that good? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, with that said, is that you have to look at it that way. No one can reject you. And if you go in the room trying to get it right, or hoping that they don't reject you, hoping that they catch you, they catch you, you're never going to get in, because
Mhm.
you're not coming in authentically as you. So in doing that is you have to say, okay, you know what, there is no such thing as rejection, and you got to literally convince yourself. Like I said, for me, it took me a month to get out of it. And you're saying whether it's self-talk, but one of the things is that we got to look at is that we as artists are storytellers, and
Mm.
there's a story that you tell yourself that's in your head that either keeps you moving forward, or it holds you back. You change that story, you change your life. So with
Yep.
that said, is we all have that. We all can be like, in that thing, when we show up and we go into an audition and we have this conversation in our head talking about, hey, maybe I'm not good enough. Will they act? Will they get whatever? You're trying to get it right, whatever it is. You got to, at that moment, if you pause and listen to the story, but not listen to the story to be in the story, just listen to the story and say, hey, what's going on here? And then question that, because the minute you question that doubt, then the way you give it a doubt is to question it.
Mm-hmm.
So is
Yep.
this true? Is this really true? What does this really mean? So if you start doing that, then all of a sudden you can change that story, and change how you show up in the audition, and also change, how you move forward.
Yeah. I think one thing people really don't take advantage of enough is meditation, because I think it helps you
Yep.
monitor your self-talk. And if people's self-talk sounded a little bit more like what you're saying, I think they would be in a bit of a different place. So that brings me to kind of like the next, like, sort of like, so what are you guys looking forward to? Because the pandemic is hard for some folks, but I think it's opened some doors, and I think it's really helped some folks really kind of learn how to really move and shake in a different way, right? Like, I think, like, in general, like, I feel like yeah, like, I gotta everything gotta upgrade, everything gotta change, everything.
Yeah.
What are like, what are some things, I guess, you'd want to say to some of the listeners who may or may not have, a whole lot to do? I had someone ask me, one of the fans asked me, like, what's a good hobby? And I struggled for a little bit there, because I didn't know how to answer that question. So what's a good hobby? Because it's like,
Mhm.
but yeah, like, what would be, um, I guess, maybe some, helpful words of wisdom to some of the folks who are probably just starting their acting journey in the
Mhm.
pandemic. Um, there are probably some people that are just kind of, in that rut of what you guys are talking about. They're dealing with a lot of rejection, and they're probably not, feeling as confident as you guys. What would be some things you guys would say to them? And then, yeah.
Um, Yeah, I get that question. It seems like every other day someone will send me a DM and they say, Erica, how can I start in this industry? My first word of advice is to, in, before you start, going to school and everything like that, I always say jump into a improv class. Because I think with that, that will actually get you out of your shell, as well as see if you even have the interest in acting, because one thing about being an actor, you have to be so comfortable in your skin that you can't be afraid of looking stupid.
Right.
And I think improv classes actually, they do that for you. you know
Mm,
so I would say definitely take an improv class, and then like jump into the session classes. I've seen so many schools have like a day class that you can pay for that range from like $20 to $50, and it's just a beginner's acting class where they just teach you the basics of acting. So that's my best advice, as well as do your research when it comes to monologues and scripts. So you don't need a teacher to tell you this is a specific monologue that you should be working on. Do the research, look for your own monologues, and then start the process of memorizing them, to get yourself comfortable, because the moment that you start paying 5, 6, 700 dollars for acting classes, you know stuff gets real. That's when
yeah.
you are not playing around anymore. So
Mhm,
that's my advice to like new actors and actresses,
mm,
just to get their feet wet for the industry.
yeah.
$500-600. You mean like
Hey,
$900, $1,000?
um,
You mean?
I've paid a lot. I've paid a lot, trust
Yeah,
me.
I, I
Talk
think you
about it.
mean like 900. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
Talk
that's what I was
about it.
paying. You know what I'm saying, at one point. So the thing is, I mean, those are great information. Thank you, Erica. I have three basically advice I would say to someone. First thing would be know who you are, because once
Mm.
you know who you are, then you know what roles are for you. Then you know how you show up, because you show up as you. I mean, I'm in the movie Convicted. I don't know, Brandon, if you've seen it. And in that movie, when I literally, I'm gonna tell you, when I walked into that movie audition, I didn't want the role, you know,
Mm.
and because I know who I am, whatever. So when I showed up who just like who I was. But at that point, I'm like, yo, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying, I don't want this role. So I walked in. I was like, the only reason I wanted to be or audition for it was because I had built a relationship with the producer, and I was like, okay, you know what, I want to keep the relationship. So I went in there and showed up, and I was authentically myself. They cast me. The next day, they said we wanted a strong actor, and so we figured we'd offer it to you. And now I'm looking at, okay, because I'm like, at that point, at one time, you know what I'm saying, I was still in that, phase where it's like, I don't know, but you don't know. Sometimes you
Mm,
do good, sometimes you don't.
Mhm.
So that day I just showed up saying, I don't give a fuck about this role. I'm just gonna go in and show up and be me. And once I did that, there's like, yeah, you showed up. So, and the character's a sociopath. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'm a sociopath. You know what I'm saying? But so, but anyway, with that said, it's like, that's why I said you need to know who you are, because the minute you know that, then basically when you show up, you show up. And when
right.
you get a role, you know if it's for you. And then it also helps you to choose the right monologue. It helps you to choose, what type of headshots you're gonna get. Because some people think, oh, I'm just gonna go take a headshot. I'm just gonna go ahead and smile and that's
Mm-mm.
it. No, you need to know what roles you play. So you need to go in as that character and know how many characters you can play. So when you take those headshots, you actually have something that when someone looks at it, it's like, okay, well, this is the character we're looking for. This is who it is. And if you don't do that, it's just going to be plain, and no one's going to call you. So
Mhm.
that's the first thing I say. Now, the other thing that I would say is you want to show up, and what I mean by that is when you show up, you're being you, and you got to be you, because if you're not you, and it all ties in. It's like, I don't care about the talent. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that, and I'm not saying not to work on your craft, because you have to work on your craft, because you have to
Mhm.
understand, the techniques and how to story tell. But the talent, if like Erica said earlier, you was given this talent for a reason. If that desire is within you, then it's inside of you. You have that desire to tell you. So, and in knowing who you are, that's why I say know who you are first, because once you know who you are, that catapults you to do everything else, because then you can let that desire come out of you. With the word desire come in Latin means of the Father. So of God, basically, God gave that to you.
Ooh.
So if you have that inside of you, you know, it's now time for you to let it shine. And the only way you can let it shine is by knowing who you are. You feel what I'm saying to you? I see you smiling. That is so and that's basically is you have to know that, and know that this desire was put inside of you and you're capable of doing that. You know?
Right.
So and I kind of, I'm sorry, I went on rant, so I kind of forgot the other two, but yeah.
There's one last thing I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you had one last point.
Yeah.
Three things.
Just tell me what the question was again, because I mean, I wanted to, you know,
like one piece of advice for new actors, and then and then we're gonna just do shout outs, and then I got a 5 for 5 segment, and then we're done.
Okay, so yeah, the first one is the first one is know who you are. The second thing was basically so that way you can, which is already tied in, is so that way you know what you can choose for yourself, and then so that way you know how to go. And the third thing is, which is one of the biggest thing that I feel in the industry, is you have to have relationships. And what I mean by that is you need to build relationships, because most actors think, oh, you know, I'm gonna go like this casting director, I'm gonna take a class with this casting director and so on, so they can like me. And the thing is no, is if you're you. I have a friend she was in a Soderbergh film, and the reason she got on the Soderbergh film is because she met the casting director, and they were just having I guess lunch or something. They were just talking, and the casting director was like, I'm gonna put you in a movie, because she liked her personality, not like what she can do as an actor or anything like that. And then she got the audition. I worked with her on the audition. Next thing you know, she booked. She called me up and said, "Hey, I booked it." And I'm like, "What?" I had forgot, because it had been 2 weeks. And she's like, "Yeah, the Soderbergh." I was like, "Okay, cool." And it was just by building relationships, because this is an industry. It's a business. You need to have any business you want to do. You got to have relationships. And if you don't understand that, you're not going to get far in this industry. And then also, one of the things that you have to know is that be patient. Be patient, because the simple fact that it's not going to come every day. It's like if I go to the gym and every day I work out for an hour, by the time I look at it in 30 days, I've gotten a lot bigger. I've gotten more cut. I got more defined, depending on what I'm doing. It's the same thing. Every single day you have to work on your craft, whether it's either you're actually getting on stage. Like when I was in New York, I was on stage every single day. Every single day I was on stage working. And that helps you build that muscle. So you have to be in that state of mind. It's like every single day you have to do something for your art. Right? So that's why when I was here, I was like, 3 months, boom, wrote a book. You know what I'm saying? After I wrote a book, I was like, okay, you know what? Now go ahead and into the production side of it. Took erased and started running with it. And in doing that, we said, hey, we ran into the thing. We said, we got to make sure that we have a way to go from script to actually distribution. So let's figure out what that funnel is, and let's create that funnel and create every aspect of that, touch that. And you have to be able to do that. Because if you look at it as a business, there's no way they can stop you. Your business is going to take off one day. It's all you have to do is put in the work every single day.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon.
Yeah.
I had something really quick, because as George was speaking,
Sure.
I know like early in our conversation, you spoke on it is Black History Month, and it is. And I just wanted to say, for all of the Black actors and actresses that's listening right now, I want to just tell them that this is the perfect time for us to enter this industry, for us to rise up and to tell our stories. I don't know if I've been on this movie binge since the new year has started, and I have seen Sylvie's Love, which was directed by Eugene Ash. It was a beautiful love story about, a woman who wants to follow her dreams, and a man that wants to follow his dreams, but they're both in love. So it's about that sacrifice, with Ava DuVernay, she's telling our story when it comes to When They See Us, Selma, the 13th. So this is a crucial time for Black actors and actresses. So I want to tell you all, tell your story. And we're more than what history tells us that we are, of slaves or whatever the case. Get that out of your head. We deserve to be in the limelight. We deserve for our stories to be told in a positive light. So I just wanted to touch base on that really, really quickly. With it being Black History Month,
Thank
you
you.
know.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That,
And
that was my third point, you know,
yeah.
which was basically where you're in the right time now.
Woo.
Before we weren't in the right time. You know how many times I actually had a casting director.
We got just under 2 minutes left.
Right,
I just want to get I just want to get one quick segment out, and then I can actually set up another recording so we can get some more, because I think you guys have some interesting points. 5 for 5. This is the last segment of Last Stop on the D. 5 actors. You have to name 5 actors in 5 seconds or less, each of you, but they got to be Black actors. Go. We got less than a minute left. You starting with you, Erica.
Regina King, Tessa Thompson, Denzel Washington, Viola Davis, and Angela Bassett.
Okay. You can't say those, Eric. You can't say those, Jorge. George, you can't say those.
Okay. All right. Oh wow. And these are 5 actors that I like, or what?
5 actors that you hate.
Oh, no. I mean,
name 5 Black actors. They got to be Black.
Okay.
One of them's got to be a woman.
Okay. Oh, okay. Will Smith. Now I'm forgetting. These are the guys that I look up to too. Also, Terrence Howard, Will Smith, Terrence Howard. Black actresses. Angela Bassett, Tasha Smith.
You guys. Okay, got it.
Oh, did she say already Angela Bassett?
No, she didn't.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
I said Angela Bassett. She's my favorite. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I say her because she actually gave me an hour coaching and acting, so that's why. Wow, I am blanking out, to be honest with you.
Lakeith Stanfield.
Word, she gave you the 5th one. I never let people
Yeah.
do that. She gave you the 5th one. That's amazing. That was amazing. Thank you so much for doing the 5 for 5 for me. I appreciate you guys. You guys so much. Yo, this is Last Stop on the D. I wanted to get shout outs in you guys' Instagram handles, so I'm actually going to set up another meeting. I'm going to